So, you know, in life you have to stand your ground. You gotta be strong. You really have to be strong, or else people are gonna walk all over you. You've gotta be strong, stand your ground, respect yourself and make yourself respected, or else they're gonna walk all over you. Now, look at this country here. It's called Burkina Faso. I'm sure you heard about it before. People from Burkina Faso now have to go to Togo. See Togo on the map? To get a US visa. Burkina Faso, see on the map? People from Burkina Faso now have to travel all the way to Togo to apply for a US visa. Now this is crazy because is there no US embassy in Burkina Faso? There is a US embassy in Burkina Faso. But there's news coming from the US government that says from now on, people from Burkina Faso have to travel to Togo to get a visa. Now, why is this? Why is this, you're asking, right? Well, let's go find out about this right now.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Regional Cooperation and Burkina Faso Abroad has come to provide us with more information about the procedure for obtaining a US visa for Burkina Faso citizens, following information circulating on social media. This is a result of a new decision made by the American authorities. Good evening, Mr. Minister.
Good evening, Madam President.
So from this information circulating on social media, we learn that citizens of Burkina Faso applying for American visas will now have to go to Lomé in Togo for the formalities. Can you confirm this?
So, I must genuinely say that it was with considerable surprise indeed that we received this very evening a formal diplomatic note from the United States Embassy in Ouagadougou, which did in fact definitively confirm this persistent rumor that was circulating widely on social media. Officially, the primary reason explicitly stated in this diplomatic note is that the West African nation of Burkina Faso, much like several other sovereign African countries across the continent, is currently listed among a group of states whose respective nationals have unfortunately not consistently complied with the established visa usage regulations and associated immigration protocols.
Okay, so officially they say the reason why they made the change is because Burkina Faso, like many other African countries, are part of those people that don't respect visas or visa restriction or visa limit. Okay, because some of people in many places, especially Africa, will travel to the United States of America and overstay their visas. Why? Because they like it in America for some reason. They don't like home. You know, some people just don't like home, or because they feel like home is bad. Now, officially, they say the reason why we have made this sort of change, asking you to go to Togo to apply for visas, because people from Burkina Faso don't come back in time. Now, how is that changing things? How is applying a visa from Togo now will make things different? If somebody wants to go and stay, will he then come back because he applied from Togo? How is that different? Let's continue. Or is this just an excuse? Let's continue.
These are specifically tourist visas, and these are also student visas. And so, in this particular regard, the United States Embassy has been, let's say, officially instructed to implement this temporary and rather significant suspension of issuing both tourist and student visas to all eligible Burkina Faso citizens who will now be absolutely required to go to their designated embassy in the neighboring country of Togo to have these essential documents meticulously processed. The copied note verbal also specifies that the process will actually have to be restarted, not only for registration, but also for payment in order to obtain this visa at the United States Embassy in Togo. So this confirms that what had until now been considered a rumor has been confirmed by the diplomatic representation of the United States. Now I have mentioned these particular reasons as the official, indeed the formal, justification. It turns out that the diplomatic note verbal, which we specifically received, contains several suggestions that directly refer to a significant agreement the United States government has consistently been trying to propose to the Burkina Faso side ever since the Trump administration initially took this important matter up. As soon as this administration began, the embassy approached us.
He's saying we officially they say it's because people from Burkina Faso go and stay, they don't come back in time. But beside that, we have received several notes from the US government, which were not negative notes at all. Let's listen to what these notes were.
In making us this proposal within the framework of the new American migration policy, what was it about? It was about offering African states, if they wished, since they are in a process of identifying and expelling their nationals, who live in the United States and are not up to date with their residency status to expel them. Our comprehensive proposal that had been carefully made was to seriously consider if Burkina Faso, while diligently taking care of our own precious nationals, was indeed ready to graciously receive other individuals who would potentially be expelled by the United States of America.
Oh, so the US also went to Burkina Faso saying, listen, since you are nice people, we'd like to kick people out of our country. You know, since Trump came into power, they've kicked many people out of the United States of America. So they went to approach Burkina Faso, asking them if they were willing to accept people America was throwing out in the country. Let's continue.
Naturally, this opposition, which we had considered at the time to be indecent, is completely contrary to the value of dignity that is at the very core of Captain Ibrahim Traoré's vision. Burkina Faso, unfortunately, could not be that desired destination.
So they refused.
After that, we had a follow-up meeting. And we clearly understood that he was absolutely insistent that we should indeed be able to access this particular measure. With the official adoption of the decree making visas completely free, they came back once again to emphatically say, we clearly see that there is a strong Pan-African spirit, and since visas are now entirely free, are you truly willing to graciously receive our esteemed nationals? Our response was quite clear.
Okay. You know, Burkina Faso, a couple of weeks ago, they said from now on, visa is free for Africans, eh? Yeah, visa free to Burkina Faso. Need to apply for no need anymore. You can just announce that you're coming and you just pay the flight and you go to Burkina. You know that you could go to Burkina Faso for no visa now. For Africans, okay, Africans, all my African Americans, please come to Africa. Go get your passport somewhere. Go to Ghana. Ghana is giving passport for free. You know, Africans can go to Burkina Faso visa free. Now, America sees that opportunity and said to Burkina Faso, we see that you say that people can come for free in your country, no visa required. Now, will you take these people that we're chasing out of our country? Let's listen what he said.
Any African national, truly any individual from the African continent who genuinely wishes to come to Burkina Faso freely and who is able to pay for their own travel ticket is most warmly welcome here in our beloved Faso. They decide for themselves, they buy their ticket, we give them a free visa, they can come to Burkina Faso. Nationals who are under orders to choose a destination. Because we are a country with free visas, we would end up being a destination for deportation. This vision was quite clear. Burkina Faso is a destination. Burkina Faso is not a land of deportation. And we made this clear by saying that the decision of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, which consisted of offering hospitality to all Africans, should not be seen as an opportunity for a third country to get rid of certain populations that it considers undesirable.
Burkina Faso refused the offer from the United States of America to take in people. Okay, at least take African people because you guys are visa free now. You're accepting all Africans. How about you take all these people we find undesirable in the United States of America? We want to throw them in your country. Burkina Faso say we are a touristic country. We are not a deportation center. We're not about that game. Let's continue.
We are truly leaving behind a land of welcome. A land that is openly accessible to all Africans as long as they genuinely wish to do so. They are completely free to make the personal decision to come and join us. Just yesterday, I had a very important meeting with the esteemed United States Embassy, a significant meeting during which we once again thoroughly discussed this pressing issue. It was the umpteenth time we discussed it because when I was at the United Nations Assembly in New York, I had a conversation with the Undersecretary of State in charge of this issue, who once again brought up the possibility of offering us free visas as an incentive. We repeated the same thing. So it is quite curious indeed that it is only after we have once again thoroughly confirmed our steadfast refusal to accept these undesirable nationals, and after our country has been widely considered as a mere land for deportation, which is a designation that is both utterly unworthy and profoundly indecent, that this significant decision is finally made. So you will understand with me that the connection is quickly made. Is this a form of pressure? Is this blackmail? In any case, it is important to clarify that in the vision of the popular revolution, Burkina Faso is a land of dignity. And Burkina Faso will remain a land of dignity, a destination, and not a land of deportation.
Minister, in fact, we have indeed learned about the highly anticipated upcoming visit of a significant group of Afro-descendants to the beautiful nation of Burkina Faso. Is this particular visit truly connected to the important decision that was just recently made by the American authorities?
I would say clearly no. And as you may know, we were surprised by this measure, which came suddenly after our categorical decision to receive these people. Those who are considered undesirable, it's not to label them as undesirable people. It's related to the fact that the current government's policy unfortunately sees every foreign national as a threat. This is very serious, and it's what we have repeated to the American representatives. Among these people, there are many Africans, many Latin Americans, many non-Americans who live there and who have sacrificed their lives and contributed to building peace and the economy of the United States. They have done every kind of job there is. They have cleaned up after elected officials, they have swept for them, they have taken care of the elderly in nursing homes. They have worked in all kinds of services to provide for Americans a decent life. These individuals, who are now officially labeled as undesirable, are considered so because they entered the country without proper authorization and in an illegal manner. It is, of course, a sovereign measure. It is, of course, a sovereign measure. But this measure cannot, let's say, be the main reason for simply identifying random destinations in Africa and going to drop them off there. So, to return to the question of Afro-descendants, the Afro-descendants who wish to come to Burkina Faso are brothers and sisters who want to reconnect with their history, to embark on a journey of self-discovery. They see in Burkina Faso a land with which they identify. They come here out of love, and many of them wish to settle in Burkina. I should point out that many expect to acquire Burkinabe nationality, and we are currently working to prepare for their stay. These people are coming of their own free will. These are not people who are being forced to choose a destination. It is not to be confused. It is not to be confused. And anyone who makes the decision to come freely, who is not forced to stay within a perimeter defined by a third-party state, to be told, you are required to go there now. Here is a list of countries from which you must choose your destination. You can choose calmly. So these are two different things, and we will always work to remain a welcoming land for all these people. But as I said, we are not a land of deportation. So that's quite clear. I want to reassure our astral brothers and sisters who are descendants. Plan. Make a trip to Burkina Faso. They will always be at home here, and we will take measures to ensure that they truly feel in Africa, that they feel on a land of meaning.
Okay, so Afro-descendant people from all over the world, you are welcome to Burkina Faso, but not in a way that they want you to go, not in a rejective way. You must be willing to come because you want to come, not because somebody, a third party decided you must go to that country. That's what this says. That's what it is, fellas. All of a sudden, Burkina Bay people from now on must go to Togo, travel all the way to Togo, go apply for visa. Is it a punishment? Let me know how you feel about this. God bless.